Our spirit. What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Good morning, everybody. I am your host, DeEtte Renee. I'm just kidding. I'm filling in for DeEtte today. My name is Mike. You guys have probably seen me on a few episodes where DeEtte and we are now... Can you hear me, Todd? I guess so. I can't hear myself in my headphones like normal. But you probably see me on Unfiltered with DeEtte. You know, DeEtte and I have joined forces and... started our own podcast. Well, not our own. I became co-host of School or Unfiltered. Today, I am on DeEtte's show, co-hosting. This was School for Spirit. So welcome, WLTK. It's been a while since I've actually hosted a podcast or a show. So a little nervous back here. So be gentle, be kind. We got some great guests for you guys tonight. I'm excited to bring on. I'm sorry, I talk a little fast. Good morning, Facebook user. But I have some great guests I'm bringing onto the station today. I said tonight, I apologize. This is probably the earliest I've ever done a podcast or done a show. I don't know. DeEtte looks a lot better than I do, but thank you. But anyways, a little bit about me. I know you guys have seen me recently here on WLTK. I just joined in backstage helping Todd run the network, run some shows. Again, recently became co-host of hi Deidre. Recently became co-host of Unfiltered with DeEtte. And a little bit more, I am a paranormal investigator. I am a shadow work practitioner, life coach, not a health coach. I'm sorry. Don't let me lie. Certified life coach, goal setting coach, happiness coach, life purpose coach. All that's recent within the last couple months. I am also executive producer of, if you guys have heard of Paraflixx. If not, definitely be sure to check it out, paraflixx.com. It is the Netflix of paranormal, everything paranormal, cryptid, ufology, a lot of schools. There's also some podcasts, shows on there as well. And what else? I have a documentary on there. You guys should check it out. It is called Sleepless in Salamanca. We investigated Wildwood Sanitarium. And that's a little bit about me. So the guests I have on today, I'm super excited to bring in. We're still waiting on the first guest, but definitely be sure to check her out. When she comes in, you know, I'll bring her in here in a little bit. But she is a forensic psychologist, very good friend of mine. I love her to death. She's just a great person. Forensic psychologist. She's got degrees in criminal justice, behavioral psychology, sociology, and I believe she is a certified NLP specialist. That I'm not 100% sure, but we can ask her. She's also got a book out that we'll discuss. So yeah, as soon as she gets here, we'll bring her in. But until then, why don't you, I have no plans for today. I have nothing. Unless you guys see me randomly run off screen, I'm home with a 4-year-old. It's my daughter. So if she needs something, just a heads up. And I'm pretty sure the guest or whoever's on will keep talking. And at the top of the next hour, I have Paranormal Princess will be joining us on screen. She's a phenomenal person and paranormal investigator. She does a lot of events dressed as princesses. Yep, she's actually here. I guess the link sent her somewhere else. So let me go ahead and send her this link real fast. I'll keep talking. Been a busy morning. Busy morning. Can't believe it's already 10 o'clock. I woke up at like 5. Where did 5 hours go? Got up, spent time with my daughter, and my wife before she went to work. It's even this year. Where has this year gone so far? It's already what, the 23rd or 23rd? Yeah. So it's been great. Awesome. Well, I expected my introduction to at least be 10, 15 minutes, but I talk fast and slightly a little nervous doing this again. But as I said before, I'm going to go ahead and actually just bring Sarah in so we can talk. As I said before, she's a forensic psychologist. She has degrees in criminal justice, behavioral psychology, sociology, and an NLP specialist, and all around amazing person. She's just one of the people that I go to. The thing I like the most about Sarah is, and I have this like love-hate relationship with it, is when I'm in an investigation and I don't know what I'm dealing with, I have gone and reached out to Sarah. I have talked to her, sent her pictures, audio, video, and I'll say, Sarah, can you give me some input, give me some advice? And she makes me think. She doesn't give me the answers. She doesn't. And that's the one thing that, I love about her is it's just her mentality and the way she talks to people is she's brutally honest. She's straight to the point, but she makes you think, and I love it. It opens other doors. So I'm going to bring her in. I'm super excited to meet her. It's been a long time.
Hello. Hey, man. I am not usually a morning person. And I say morning because, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning is still late night for me.
So what is it, like 8 o'clock over there?
It's 9 o'clock. So this is like probably the average person's like 6 o'clock. For me, like I've already gotten up and done my first rounds of coffee and then went to sleep and then re-woke back up. And so I always feel like this is my morning person, Sarah, which might be different than the late night paranormal investigating Sarah. So look out, world.
It's okay. I did it too. I got on and I was like, so tonight's special guest, and I'm like,
wait a minute.
It's 10 in the morning. This is the first time I've ever been. I'm used to doing them at night.
Yeah, I'm usually a night person myself. So this is exciting, though. It's a good way to start the week. It's a good, strong Monday. And kind of like you said in the intro, I think people usually hate me because I'm a little forward and direct, but that's kind of how I prefer to be, like a Monday. It's kind of hit you right in the face,
Well, that's why I said
my intentions are good.
That's why I said that love-hate relationship with the way you are.
Right.
But I love it. It leans more towards love, but sometimes you're just like, man, just tell me.
Right. Well, if it were that easy, I have, I think maybe a little bit of that appreciation and hindsight for people who along my way, mentors or people that I had worked with, said things like that to me that drove me crazy. And then when it finally clicked, like in my soul or in my mind, like, oh, that's what they meant. Okay. Right. That it was like, it has to be that way. It has to be that way. So, but yeah. So what are you up to, Mike?
I would say I have absolutely no questions. I didn't know what to do. I've really not much. Enjoying this winter off. The last couple of years, I do landscaping, so I'm off in the winter. And, money gets tight. My wife and I, we used to argue about money. And this year I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's my time off. This is, deserved. I believe everybody should be entitled to, some time off.
Yeah.
And I'm just enjoying this winter. It's been phenomenal. I'm learning, I'm growing, stepping out of my comfort zone. Ever since studying life coaching and shadow work practicing, it's changed everything, and it's been amazing.
wonder what, and I mean, there's a lot that goes in. I think for me, in the last few years, I've been integrating more astrology, which seems like it's a lot more math than I want to do, which is why I do hesitate. You know, when someone's like, it's 30 degrees conjunct to the light zenith. And I'm like, whoa, you lost me. I don't like that part of the astrology, but what I do appreciate is you kind of describing the masculine stereotype, the fire energy, yang stereotype of associating your productivity to your worth and to your value, and like struggling to be still and struggling to rest and struggling to just take time off because I struggle with that part of that, like alpha male tomboy energy of my own, and the Virgo energy that I have, that like if I'm not doing something, what am I? I'm useless. I'm lazy. And then I like fall into the pits of despair. And so I constantly feel like I have to be doing something. And then I do get burned out, or I feel exhausted, or I get like emotionally tight because I just haven't given attention to rest. And seeing rest as something that you do is still a struggle for me. Like a monk on a hill.
Oh, yeah. And it's the same with, you know, I see a lot of these even life coaches that start their own businesses, or just people that, what's the best way to do this? They say to get rich, you got to constantly work. You got to work and work and work and grind and grind. But they say you're not allowed to have your time, free time. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to. I don't agree with that. I don't think, you know, I think if we did it right, it could happen and still have your free time. But I just think we're all entitled to it. I told my wife, you know, she's a mail carrier. She'll work 8 days a week, and she won't call off. You know, she'll text me and we'll talk all day, and she'll be like, I need you as a coach, not a husband. Talk to me. How do I get through this? And I'll tell her, I'll just be like, take a day off, call off. I can't, because it screws everybody else around the department or the station. I'm like, how many of them call off? All of them. Well, why don't you? Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, do it. You know, these companies.
Right. Well, I think you want to be a part of the team. You don't want to be the weakest link.
And that's what I told her. I was like, they come to you for all this because they know you're not going to call off. They know you're not going to stand up for yourself. And we had this conversation about giving a 2-week notice to your company. And I'm like, I don't give 2-week notices when I leave. That 2 weeks is just filled. I don't. They can fire you at any time. No reason. Why would they want respect from us, but they don't legally have to give it to us?
I do 2 weeks notice, I feel like, because I dance in a political space. So much of what I do is my reputation, which is like Paranormal Sarah is.
Mine is. I cut grass. I'm pretty sure nobody's
but that's well, right. And I think as a landscaper, you know, you've got your headphones on so that your ears are protected and you're in your mindset doing your work and your planning and there's a lot of in landscaping too, by the way, which I couldn't do. All the things to be like a life coach. My husband just quit as a mail carrier, by the way. So when I hear that, I totally feel this like to the pits of my soul.
Oh, yeah.
Because he worked
7 years now.
80. Yeah. My husband was an ex-military. So he was like, hey, they honor your retirement and your military time. This is great. I want that pension. And his grandpa was a mail carrier. He was a 4th generation mail carrier. Guys, after Amazon, we can't do it. It can't. We don't have Amazon trucks up here in northern Minnesota, up kind of by the Canadian border. And so the mail carriers are working till like 9 p.m. doing Amazon packages. And they're sitting outside on the back door because the old buildings that are made for the post office aren't warehouses for boxes. Yep. It's wild. It's wild. And people are mean. It's the horror stories and like driving. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. So I finally kind of had to put my foot down and be like, you can't, you're going to die. You're going to be like a, you know,
I'm trying to talk to her. You know, I'm trying to talk her into it. They're
working to death.
she loved it. It's what when her and I got, as long as I've known her, she wanted to be a mail carrier. And back in
Oh,
the
that's
day, it
cool.
was, in order to get in, you had to know somebody. Now
Yeah.
it's they'll hire anybody. Now they'll hire anybody. No
Now
drug
they'll
test.
hire anybody because it's really
Mhm.
hard work.
No
Ooh.
drug test. No training. My wife did 2 weeks training, drug test, civil service exam. They don't do that
Right. My
anymore.
husband had to do a ton of training. It was crazy.
They don't do it anymore.
That's
So they're just
wild.
throwing anybody in there. And I'm like, she loves doing photography. So now I'm trying to help her push back into that. She wants to do nature. So
Wow,
I'm trying to,
really?
she loves nature photography. She's one of those, if it's not paying the bills and taking care of the kids, it's on the back burner kind of thing.
It is, isn't it? I feel like a lot of people are that way. That's
Right.
kind of the survival way.
And that's, what I've told her with the things that I've done, with like Paraflixx and the background is push it, make money while you're working and let it build itself. Let it take time. If that's your passion, you'll find the time.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm trying to get her towards that. What is your life passion or your life purpose kind of, I guess, pathway, if that makes sense. Because there's a difference. Your passion isn't your life purpose.
Exactly. And, I have to often remind myself, I feel like envy is something that I struggle with a lot, which is ironic because in the paranormal, it was often possession, exorcism, very dark things that people would reach out to me for. And I think that was, linked to the trauma I had experienced as a child, which later helped me in my experience with, working with military and working in the psychiatric spaces. And so now, as it's all integrated together, I look and I'm reminded that I'm no different than like a blue jay or a goat or a horse, and that my purpose is to just survive the day and love. Like to do no harm, to live, to breathe, to eat, to survive the day and go to sleep having loved. Everything else is really extra. And so to be able to enjoy what you do throughout the day, that's the extra, is a privilege and a like dance of gratitude. And that's really hard sometimes when you absolutely hate what you're doing from 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of time to be doing something you don't love. And it will reflect in your person and in your energy and in your spirit. And that's infectious. And then it affects your family. And I think the working mother, especially, we feel like we have to provide. We feel like, but that's not initially like an innate role. We want to nurture. So I know like when I was a working mom, I worked from home. I had the luxury of doing that and thinking, can I do both? Because I want to do both. And that I feel like there's only so much energy that I have, but like taking care of your children and just loving your family, that's basic. So if you're not able to do that, everything else will feel like a burden. And it really is kind of a burden at that point. So it's like this really delicate thing that ultimately comes back to the ability to be selfish without doing so selfishly. And that's really hard, to be the sun in your family galaxy without burning everybody and pulling them in. That possession and envy. It's really delicate. But it's moderation, kind of like you had said, the rest. Yep. Mm-hmm. Going back to rest, being able to control the moderation, just control the reaction. Man, you've got a really lively chat. So for those people who
I'm looking at it now.
tuning in the future or time travelers, there's a lot of chat that I just kind of noticed. And Courtney in the chat, she shared one of like my all-time favorite quotes, that you can't eat money. There's an Aurora song who, Mike, I know you know and feel this. When you like a music and you're like, this is my music. This is my musician. I love them. I'm gonna root for them to make it. But then they like halfway make it and then they become fucking shit because the music industry shits them. And then everyone's like, I've loved them forever. And you're like, no, you don't. Again, possession.
Oh yeah.
And like, you're mine. Aurora, I feel like she's been that way for me for a long time. And then she did the voice of Frozen 2's that little voice. You haven't seen Frozen 2?
I have. I don't even think I've seen the first one.
Okay, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. You don't need to see it.
It's all been a JoJo Siwa kick lately.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, to each their own. But so Aurora went popular with that. She did a "You Cannot Eat Money," and that's kind of an indigenous saying that I love. So yeah, and look at that thing. Look at that thing. Who is that? Boop. Oh, she's got purple in her hair.
Oh, she's going to come say hi, of course.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. You can't hear me because you don't have headphones on.
Nope, she can't. Say hi. You want to wave?
Hello. Oh, she's darling.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, she has blue eyes like you, doesn't she? Oh my goodness. Look at you. She is darling. Mike, you're muted. There you are.
Just say hi.
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 She's so quiet.
Howdy.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Daddy. Mimo.
Jackie Mimo?
Monroe.
Monroe. Oh, I like
Yep.
that
And I'm 3
name.
years old still.
Oh.
I'm playing a bow and I want to be a dodo one day.
Oh. That's why the bow in the hair too, huh? Yeah.
Yep, the side ponytail, the bow. Yep,
I get it.
her.
I've got a ponytail too, but I don't have any bows. So
Are you in there making a mess?
is she your second child or your first child, Mike?
Second. We have 3 total.
Okay. She looks more like her mom, huh? No,
She's got a lot of both of us.
Does she? Man, she's got those blue eyes like you. Look at that.
If you look at a picture of my wife when she was this age, they're identical.
Identical. Oh yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you watching? SpongeBob?
She is so cute. That is dangerous. By the way, guys, astrologically, baby making season is now. People are going to have children and get pregnant now. So
no more.
Careful.
No more.
Well, look at that thing. That makes it hard. She's so cute with those long lashes.
I don't think I can handle another one.
That's what my husband says. He's like, don't even say it.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know. Go make a mess.
So freaking cute. See?
I know that's what's you were talking earlier about working from home, being a stay-at-home mom. That's what I do for 3 months. I stay home with my daughter and work. And ever since, it's been she's got full reign of the house. My area out here where my office is and my items is attached behind our garage. Mm-hmm. So I just go into the garage, into the house. She's got full reign of the house. She does whatever she wants, watches TV, runs around. She knows not to get into anything. She doesn't. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I feel like that's made her so independent to just be on her own. If she needs something, she knows to come out and ask. She knows to come out and say, Daddy, I want this. I need this. It's time for lunch. Like she knows. And, I love it.
Yeah. I like that about being able to just be around and near. And I feel like, there's a psychological experiment that was done on mice about this, about curiosity and boundaries, that if you put...
I think I know this one.
You do?
I believe so.
Well, hey, I'm going to say it anyway, Mike.
It's like they're hunting instead of being handed.
No, I don't know that one. You tell me your mouse story and I'll tell you
I
mine.
might be wrong.
No, this boundaries, since I work with sex offenders, boundaries is something that we talk a lot about. And if you take a handful of mice and you put them in like a 5-gallon aquarium where the boundaries are able to be determined, there's a proximity that feels safe, the mice will spread apart and go to the corners and outline, and they'll separate themselves a little bit. They will allow themselves to explore safely if the parameters are within a certain distance. If you put the handful of mice in the middle of an empty aquarium pool, out at the hotel that's been drained, they will not scatter. They won't feel safe enough to explore or to separate from the group, and they will stay huddled in an open space. I mean, almost to the point of starvation, which is kind of wild. And like, what is the distance that allows you to feel safe, whether it's like visual or intuitively able to see or feel or know that there is a boundary there? And
Right.
I feel like humans are the same way. I feel like knowing those boundaries and having a child at home who knows the home, knows the proximity and boundaries of the fence, the yard, the driveway, the house, and where to find their parent. And having that safety allows them safety enough to be curious and explore in a really healthy way. Which is kind of interesting.
All right.
What's your mouse story?
I agree. Well, Courtney, real quick, I'm having, she said I need a new mic. I'm having issues with this one for some reason. For some reason, my soundboard keeps disconnecting from my computer, so it picks up on these. I don't like the mic in these headphones, so it is going to sound a little weird. I'm sorry.
They don't call me Paranormal Sarah for nothing. I also break a lot of electronics, but it's, yeah.
I don't remember which one it was. It was a psychological test on mice where I believe it was they had tunnels and they were trying to see the difference between how mice react when handed what they were looking for, as opposed to making them hunt and look for it, how they would react after just being handed, and then how they reacted to hunting. It was something along those lines. I don't remember the full story or the full.
You know why I like
experiment.
that, Mike? I like that because, I would say that, I don't want to say controversial, but sometimes the conversations in sex offense treatment and like gender and discussions of sex and appropriateness and what's okay and what's socially okay and these kinds of areas, especially in the last 5 years, seems to be a little bit more controversial than other places, which working with pedophiles and working with people who legally have to know like their gender and what age is and what consent is and how to distinguish body language and these kinds of things. When the world of social chaos gets crazy, it becomes hard for even the most basic of people to learn like a foundation, which is where I'm struggling a little bit in my professional job as I see things. And I say this because this is kind of a weird space where like the man woman stereotype and foraging. There was a recent discussion on pornography, that pornography for a man makes them more feminine because they don't have to go out and hunt for the female. They don't have to understand social conduct. They don't have to do the yes sir, no sir, opening the doors and learning what's appropriate, that they just go and click, clack, klook and go to Pornhub and get their thing and they're fine and they have an orgasm and then it's over, which has been for a very long time how females have operated in the sexual sphere. If we want sex, we can walk to the nearest bar and say, anybody? And we don't really have to put forth a lot of effort. And the male usually has to put forth the effort. So this whole like mass feminizing of the male, the Western male in my field is kind of a hot topic to discuss. And
To
specifically,
just go out and get it.
right,
Just
right. You don't
go
have
out
to
and get it,
learn
you know?
what's appropriate. You just go. You don't even have to go anywhere. You can sit right where you're at and be able to find whatever it is that you want, and how that is feminizing. And people got upset because they thought that to parallel feminizing with a lack of work meant that females were lazy. That's not what it's implying at all.
I can see the argument behind that. You know,
well, those mice, if they were just given the food, I wonder what, like, it did probably change.
But even nowadays, a lot of men are, you know, say like married men. We can't just go out and get it, go out and, you know. So yeah, I think there does have to be boundaries on, you know, something along those lines.
Ooh, can I ask you a question? Because that's an interesting question. I suppose I work mostly with offenders who, you know, they're being monitored or they do not have internet access. So, and they've been are still in prison. So they're living in the 90s, you know, it's very different. Like dial up, baby, you know, get off the phone. And it's a different world then. And it still very much is, I think, for anyone who's 30 to 40 years old, the internet is still very much the Wild West. Like we know what Napster and LimeWire and AOL and age, sex, location, and that you can lie. Ooh,
yeah.
Lie.
That was the era of catfishing. That was catfishing.
Well, and 100%. We've
Mm-hmm.
created the catfish. We've created the apps and filters that have now led to a generation who doesn't know who the hell they are. Younger generations who are grasping desperately for identity as we meld into a metaverse that you can just be whatever you want. But what does that really mean? And so this is kind of moving into a really interesting space where as a man, you said a married man. Well, like as a married man, I can't just go. Actually, a lot of married men do still go online and utilize porn or OnlyFans and have relationships with whoever they think it is on the other end of the dial, when I think a younger, more acute generation, they have to put their cell phone in to get their account. And it's not so much the Wild West. It's going to be very much more accountable to, hey, as you apply online, upload your resume and your search history. And like when you go to get your McDonald's job, they're going to see that you were on Pornhub, and you can't do that stuff because it's going to be absolutely linked to you all the time. And that'll really change for those of us who are like, Control H, delete it. Who cares? The younger generation is going to be like, unfortunately, that was bought out. That fusion center was sold from the government to another government, and now it's being utilized for like credit services. So shoot. Like that's going to change I can never say this word, anonymity. Anonymity. Anonymous. I'm anonymous, and so I have anonymity. When you're anonymous. What people do when they think there's no accountability. We in our 20s and 30s live in a world where the internet is kind of like the Matrix to us. We go in and out of it as if it's real and unreal. But to younger generations, if they sell, you know, if they send boob pics to their girlfriends and they're 17 and 16 and it's on the cloud, and dad happens to take his tablet that also has the cloud like sex tape, you know, to work, he might be my new client for the next 10 to 15 years and never be able to go to his son's graduation or baseball because oops, he saw Jeannie's titties, you know, and it wasn't even meant for him. That happens all the time. All the time. And that's crazy.
I guess it's anonymity.
And
anonymity.
Anonymity. The English language is so silly. Courtney says, man, they go live from prisons on Facebook and TikTok. I think they're presently using the same things we are. A lot of the apps, yeah. I mean, especially in prison, they still get phones smuggled in all the time. And to be honest, a lot of them are snitches, and they are not going to be doing well when they get out. Because a lot of the prison guards, like, we watch that. Like, I watch that. I've got clients who go online and spill their entire guts on their vlog and then come into therapy and want to pretend like I didn't maybe watch that online and like have questions about what they said. That's a tool. We call that a facilitation tool. But like, they're probably totally making money too. Probably more money than
Oh, probably.
That's crazy. 12-step programs here, anonymous programs. That word gets butchered all the time. I know. I can't say it. We should change it. You know, if people can have slang where they use new words, we should be able to just change that word.
Right. Why can't we?
Why can't we? Right now, Mike, what's the new word? I mean, anonymous is its own thing, you know, so it should.
Right.
Anonymous isn't really anonymous anymore, is it?
I don't really think we are anymore, honestly.
No. If you get an angry girlfriend, you can find just about anything.
I couldn't put anybody's personal shit out there. That annoys me.
Man, that happened to me. I had, sometimes I put them on blast, but I try not to ever do that. That's really not my style. But I had dated someone in the past who they felt like that was going to be the thing that they were going to do that really hurt me the most, was to take a very intimate photo and send it to everybody in my Google contacts, because I have saved everybody ever that has ever contacted me ever. I save them in my contacts like an FBI agent. And so I probably have thousands in my contacts book. And to like send all, to just go ahead and send all that. And like my 4th grade teacher, like everybody has seen my ass. So that was awkward. And you just kind of have to get over it, I guess. As I age,
you know, it's just one of those things. There is no, how do you say that? Anonymity. I still can't pronounce it. Anonymity. But there is none anymore. I am in high school. I am known for doing one thing, and I am not ashamed of sharing this anymore. I used to hate sharing it, but now I just turned 37. I don't care. There's no shame.
No shame.
You know, you see a lot of what kids are getting famous on TikTok, all these pranks, all this dumb shit they're doing. We were doing back in the day, but if we did it,
we go to
we
jail.
got arrested. We got,
jail.
You know, so kids these days have it really easy. So I remember I lost a bet in high school. I don't remember what the bet was, but the consequences was I had to dye my pubic hairs.
Oh my gosh. Good.
So I lost the bet. Needless to say, I had to serve the consequences. Not the most fun thing in the world, but
Mike, that could be dangerous. You could hurt yourself trying to bleach stuff.
The bleach burned. I will tell you
my God. Okay, yeah.
But the next day at school, I'm the one showing it off.
Right.
Showing it off. I'm like, look at this. This is awesome. Now here I am 20 years out of high school. And I go to the gas station and the clerk recognizes me. And the only thing he goes is, aren't you the guy that dyed your pubes in high school?
Oh my God.
20 years ago. Like there's a line full of people. Like there's nothing.
Oh my God. That's embarrassing. But also like not burned. I mean, maybe burned into people's memories, but not online that you could go Google it.
No,
Can you imagine the humiliation that maybe your childhood initiation stories were actually online and documented?
If I tried uploading it then, it's probably still trying to upload.
Yuck.
Internet Explorer.
Oh my gosh. Someone in the chat asked, what do you both do for meditation and or grounding? That's a good question. What do you do, Mike?
Well, for one, I don't meditate.
Oh.
The only reason I can't stop my mind. I have to be busy. I have to constantly be thinking. When I do meditate, it's not a daily thing. It's not an all the time thing like a lot of people that meditate do. I listen to music. I will throw on metal. I'll throw on something that's upbeat, happy, and I'll just sit there and close my eyes. The one thing I found out about me is the only time my mind is not running is when I'm listening to music. So I have to listen to something. I will sit there and there's times when I meditate, I'll meditate with energies of angels and gods. So if I want to meditate with, say, Hecate or that type of energy, I'll listen to like a fire type song, a song that has their element, and just kind of, focus on that energy is what I do when I meditate. As far as grounding, it's been a long time, and I think I really need to pick that back up again.
I like that. I like that you use music. I think I can identify a lot with that. I have a constant stream going in my head. I know you and I, because when I'm doing mentoring, usually it's in spiritual type realms. I don't do life coaching or coaching in that way like you do, but I am usually defaulting to this. So people who've worked with me in the past will know, or if you've read my book, Quantum Parapsychology, I lightly mention this, but even with the 4 elements, earth, water, air, fire, I also think of it as yin and yang, but also very much like a genetic spiral, or the Fibonacci, or the mathematical astrology that we begin to put the zodiac into, and that kind of movement. So when I'm thinking of grounding and centering is my like initial thought, like the little seed of me. And I think about what that is. And every morning I used to wake up with anxiety. That was predominantly because I was smoking tobacco and because I was eating after 8 o'clock. After I stopped eating after 8 o'clock and stopped smoking tobacco and supplemented it with, I don't know, a range of other things, mugwort, chamomile, lavender, cannabis, depends on where you're at. I mean, all sorts of things. I feel like that changed my central nervous system quite a bit and allowed me that when I wake up, I just think, I am. Like, I'm not even Sarah, just I am, and I am alive. And so I get up, I usually am listening to music so that I don't have intrusive negative thoughts, and I'm able to center this little light of mine, like that visual, like being. And then grounding, I always think of old Appalachian magic. I think of the old men that would put copper wires around their feet at night and put it into the ground outside their tent when they were hunting to be in tune with the creatures. But how that actually does, if people are going to Reiki or to get a massage, or you take a shower and you baptize yourself in water, that like your electrons, your static friction, your energy, your negative energy actually gets cleansed, and you ground yourself, whether it be with copper or whatever. So like, I like to go outside, like, and to ground, I like to go outside and take a deep breath, or I like to splash my face with cold water. I feel like that's really grounding for me. And kind of like you, Mike, meditation is hard because I have a busy mind. So if I'm unable to keep my body still, I will dance. I will get into that like hypnagogic, dissociative, like I'm driving. I love to drive with the windows down and the music up and go 300 miles and not even realize it. That is so meditating to me that I get out of the car and I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel like I've thought all my things out. I might cry. I think about my college sweetheart and the job I should have taken. And I don't call anybody. I just cry and sing and look at the earth and the sky and think that's a UFO. And I have all my thoughts to myself and I let them go in one ear and out the other. And that's how I meditate. But yeah, I don't sit on a mountaintop on a pillow and like the monks do.
No,
I don't. Yeah. I think that Western idea of meditation is different.
I don't think there needs to be any structure behind anything that you do. I mean, it's how you're comfortable. It's not sitting around watching yoga videos and meditation or guided meditations.
Or maybe it is, if that's your thing,
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like,
Somebody asked when you're having a show on here.
where's your show on here? Where is my show on here? Where? On this
I don't know.
broadcast? Well,
No,
I do
just your show in general. You need a show.
Yeah, I do a podcast on astrology every Tuesday, and we do it through Odyssey and through YouTube, so through the Paranormal channel. But that's just kind of like, a collaboration. I'm always interested in doing fun new shows. For the last few years, I was doing a political, like forensic psychology, just discussion show called No Man's Land. But because I was posting every day about my dad needing a kidney, man, I got shut down, girlfriend. Facebook said no. And I got banned for like 90 days on one and 60 days on the other. And for somebody who, does readings and things online and podcasts and guest spots, that like screwed me. Seriously, screwed me. So it was a struggle. So I've not really committed to that. But my dad got a kidney last month, so I won't be spamming.
I saw that.
Right?
I was happy.
Yeah. Look at how cute.
I don't know where it's
at. Gosh dang it. She's like, Dad, I got
Fix
something.
my Lego.
Man, that curly hair.
That's all me. That's me.
I love it. What is that? What ethnicity? What ethnicity is that? What are you? Italian
and Czech.
Oh, Italian and Czech. Maybe it's the Czech is the blue eyes, maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah.
My hair, believe it or not, is naturally curly, but I hate it, so I straighten my hair. I do. I don't like it.
Okay.
It's not those tight, nice Italian curls that you would see. It's mine puffs.
They're like Jesus curls, like a suave.
So when I was actually getting into shadow work and doing shadow work, you mentioned something, and I don't remember what it was that made me think of this. Is doing shadow work, I've noticed the differences in me. It's one of the things that really helped me forgive my mom and forgive my past and the way I was raised, because it makes you look into their shadow. It makes you look into how they are, and you're able to kind of accept it and move on. And I did a lot of digging, not really digging, but a lot of trying to figure out who I am, to where it's to the point where I've pictured myself as a giant. There's days where my hands get so uncomfortable. I got to stretch. I got to do this. And when I do it, I feel like they're not as big as they should be. Like, I feel like they should be 3-4 times the size. I wasn't recognizing myself. I was seeing myself more muscular, more stronger, bigger. And
that's interesting.
It was insane, like the things I was seeing about myself. And then started realizing, maybe the way I was in my past growing up and the way my mom was, is there's a possibility, my mom was very strict, like rules. And I started realizing maybe she was a slave owner in a past life. Maybe I was a slave in a past life.
Man, you want to get crazy, Mike?
I'm always down.
I wonder. I wonder if, because I do believe in past lives, guys, I'm a licensed hypnotherapist, so I cannot do it for entertainment, but past life regressions for fear. And then someone starts speaking a different language. You say, take me back to where this fear started. And they're now a different gender in a different country in a different time period. That's real. So in hypnosis, I see that often. And in a fear-based structure, like alien abduction, regression, things of that nature for like real trauma, victimization spaces. The giant thing, I love it that you have, like, you do mirrors and scrying. You do shadow work within your coaching, which is very much linked to identity structures. And then you have this, in mental health, we would call it body dysmorphia. If it kept you from functioning, you're able to function. So it is not such a thing. But everybody has their visual, like, version of themselves. Like, mine's a little bit more thinner, definitely more muscular, probably smaller breasts, shorter hair. Like, the Sarah in my head is different than the Sarah that people see. And I'm always
Absolutely.
trying to align that. But yours, when you mentioned the gargantuan, like giant, I love the earth elemental concept to that. Like back to the Maori and the Easter Islands and the very large, but also the biblical Nephilim. Like that you do angel work and that you also do death angel work, because anybody who works with me does necromancy, whether they like it or not. And so to know that you're in that realm, Nephilim and their integration with man and that, you know, magical, mystical, you might be a hybrid. Have you ever thought you could be a hybrid?
I don't see, that's where I'm like, how do you learn? How do you figure that out? You know, I'm starting root cause therapy this weekend, and I'm super excited for that. I think it's going to advance a little bit of the coaching, a little bit of the shadow work. I'm excited, you know, and it's been a journey. You know, you change. Like when you start doing shadow work and even life coaching, just the process of learning and understanding. You know, I went from being this huge metalhead to I'm now listening to a little bit of hip hop and a little bit of country. And it's like you're starting to find an identity outside of, you know, a lot of the reasons I'm a metalhead and always been just this terrorizing of a person is who I grew up around. You know, you want to be friends with people. If they say God doesn't exist, well, guess what? You're going to believe God doesn't exist. It's actually been questioning my religion, what I believe. And I stumbled upon this, and maybe you do astrology, so maybe this will make a little bit more sense. So I was reading an article, and I don't remember where, but it was talking about how your astrology sign, there is always the polar opposite. So if I'm a Scorpio, my true sign is the opposite of what a Scorpio would be. As you do shadow work, as you do figuring out your life path. Like I was born a Scorpio, but technically my soul, my energy is not Scorpio.
You know what's crazy? And Mike, I might just have to like do this in collaboration sometime, either with you online or really, you know, do what kind of work I do online and just put it online. I just often feel like it's not going to make any sense if I'm talking about it generally, because it's so specific to a person. You almost need a guinea pig. And oftentimes people don't want that intimate process to be online, and maybe it shouldn't be, and sometimes isn't and shouldn't be. But like, okay, so when I think of astrology and that mathematical opposite and what that means. So like in astrology, you have your 12 houses, or you have these you know, extensions of your chakras and these placements and meridians in your body, that acupressure, acupuncture, even tapping, emotional release technique, psych K, hypnosis, root tapping. These things are all going to be utilizing areas of the body that on an electromagnetic spectrum are radiating on a cellular level a certain vibration. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And the colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And they're all connected. And like, what? And like, yeah, that's cool. That's how I know that I need a turquoise green stone if I'm struggling with speaking the truth. Like, and that I would hold it here. How do you know that? Well, because it's colors, it's science, it's the electromagnetic spectrum and how our body is processing that energy that we see and don't see. Because just because it's green, it's not that it's actually green, it's that that's the light that it's reflecting. So that's what our body is telling us we have a deficiency in. So you have this attraction, and the best way my brain sees that attraction is in yin and yang, or feminine, masculine, or bad, good, or negative, positive, or dark, light, or shadow work, and, you know, social conduct. But like, it's also, everybody is also capable of thinking, feeling, saying, and doing things in harmony, and you should be in harmony. So then when I think of astrology, Mike, your 12 houses, you've got astrological signs. You're going to have your sun sign, your moon sign, the sign you were born in under earth when the stars were aligned on that day, which actually is like a physical imprint on your cellular body when you went from being a water breather to an oxygen breather. your body went through an actual physical change, that the oxygen and the placement and the sun and the way the gravitational pull was in that moment, you have a certain level of comfort. As someone said in the chat room, almost everything is learned, if we want to go in that realm, and that everything from our ancestors is imprinted on our DNA. Everything is learned. Do we have access to it? Nah, that comes with awareness and respect and skepticism and all that. But like, you're born on that day, so your body recognizes that pattern. It's like a residual stamp.
Right.
Born today. That means you're a Virgo. What does that mean? Well, that means when the stars are like they are the day on you're born, that people will celebrate your life and that you'll have some.
You're going to be an asshole because you're a Scorpio.
There's a lot of neon and Jupiter, and Mercury isn't even in the sky. So all of our ancestors are fucking scrambling. And so on today, throughout history, this is how the energy is. And this is kind of imprinted on your body, whether you know it or not. Other people that know it. So they're going to repel and gravitate towards and against you, whether they know why or not, which is kind of cool to think about. And then you break down, like, if you know we'll say Mercury. I think that's probably the most popular to people who don't give a shit about astrology, because you hear like, Mercury's in Gatorade. Ah!
Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde. Like, what the hell does that even mean, right? Well, Mercury is, I always think of Ariel, like you got your daughter back there. Like, this is how we communicate. Ironically, it's how the prince would have recognized her. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He saw her. Nope, it was the seashell that did it. It was the voice. It was the proclamation of who you are. It was the recognition of your vibrational matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that this is really important. This is Mercury, the little planet that spins super fast. And for whatever reason, right? Chemistry, biology, astrology, all the things, that is way too much math for me to really care too much about. But we know enough that, like, if Mercury is in our sky, we communicate well, our microphones work, our cars turn on when we turn them on, our computer lights up, our lights turn on when we click on, and we know this. When Mercury is not in the sky, meaning that, like, we're in our car pacing the train and we go choo-choo, and the train goes choo-choo, and we're like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, gas it. We need to get to our place. But I mean, the train, we're still going the same direction. We know the train's there. We see the track, but it's behind us. We'd have to turn our head away from the fucking wheel. Oh my God, crash, burn. It's in retrograde. It's behind us now. So we can't turn our direction away from what we're doing to look at it. You have to just know that it'll be back again someday. And some of our ancestors learned that when Mercury is not in the sky, shit doesn't go right. Your car doesn't start the first time. The microphone doesn't work. Mercury, in fact, helps us utilize the solar energy and, like, satellite, you know, like this kinds of triangulation stuff, right? Like, Mercury being in our sky actually helps us communicate and actually helps our, like, when Mercury is not in the sky, it is retrograde. We cannot see it. All of our ancestors scrambled because they knew what that meant. And we also carry that residual superstition of, like, well, no one's going to answer their phone. It's Mercury retrograde. I'm going to fall down the stairs and not be able to get to work. It's Mercury retrograde. But, like, is that really Mercury retrograde, or is that suggestion now? And, like, that's kind of the power of momentum in physics too. Is like, if you know, you know. And so if someone tells me, like, sorry, I couldn't make it to my therapy, it's Mercury retrograde. And I go, no. That's not actually what Mercury retrograde is. All that means is that people are going to struggle to communicate. And you have struggled to communicate with me that you are not prioritizing your therapy. That's your problem. It is not mine. Your insurance is still billed. Don't lie to me and take some astrology. That's what I know.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And
oh, yeah.
I like that about Mercury, and that's the little planet of communication, and it is going to greatly fuck up my stuff. So we know that, like, I don't need to go spend $100 at Best Buy getting a new microphone. I might actually wait until Mercury goes direct again and see if it might be an electrical triangulation of shit in the sky that is far beyond me, because I'm not the biggest thing out there.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
You know, it's like humbling, and it also makes me feel less skeptical and more connected. Because when, say, for example, I have a lot of women, go figure, who want psychic awareness of their relationships. Is he the one? Why isn't he texting me back? Why? And I think, well, I look at the stars firstly, because that's bigger than me. And I think, well, you know, we are in a retrograde space. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you're in winter, so you probably have seasonal affective disorder. It's a time of isolation. If you're into tarot, this is the hermit. This is when you go in your little cave with your lantern and like the allegory of the cave. If you don't know,
No tarot over here.
yeah, hey, we do
I don't
that.
know what to do.
That scrying of the mirror. If you've got the light behind you versus the light in front of you, what you're going to see is very different. That placement of just where you are.
Yep.
And the hermit knows that. And he knows that him in his cave with his light is the way. It's not where you're going and to light the path. It's that you are the light, and that moths move towards you. Like the hermit learns by being. This is the hermit space, the resting space. And so I might be able to tell someone like, well, this is a hermit space. So it really has nothing to do with you. And you can either share crazy bitch energy, or you can give what you want to get and just tell someone, I hope you're doing well. I've been self-isolating and thinking a lot, and I'm thinking a lot about you.
And that's what I did during shadow work.
Right?
A lot. Mending relationships, talking to people, losing friends. You have to.
You have to.
Get rid of that dead weight. If it's,
yeah.
Take that step. Take that step on apologizing. Take that step on moving forward to lift it off your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
But if that energy is not reciprocated, cut it off and just fucking let it go. You did what you had to do. That's all that's important.
Well, and to think too, like, I kind of laughed this morning. I've got a good friend of mine who's going through a divorce, and she's dating a guy. He's married. No. And, I'm sure his wife just thinks he's the worst, that he's the reason I hate my body and my husband never looks at me. Meanwhile, he's somebody else's object of affection and making another woman love her body. And what's really interesting in that is it's like, that's real. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So you don't have to waste your energy changing anything but yourself.
Right. Absolutely. We only got another couple minutes with you.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. You're good. This has been enlightening. I feel bad I didn't get to bring up the book like I wanted to.
Oh, yeah, there it is. You can go get that on Amazon.
Well,
I'm working on the second version of my first book, which I'm very proud of, The Haunted by the Abyss, which I'm doing the second version. I think it's been 10 years. So it'll come out 10 years, second edition, and hopefully doing that with Troy Taylor. So it won't be Lou Ellen, but then the quantum parapsychology, man,
I'm rereading it.
I so appreciate that.
I love it.
Yeah, it does. And what I think of is in science, man, quantum stuff just yesterday, was news. Today is news on quantum stuff. So it's going to be outdated the moment you read it, but it's also the science that is making the paranormal happen. And it's making, quantum stuff that's the metaverse. That's AI. That's like people right now having these questioning ideas of who they are and their second identity and who they're going to be. And if they should upload themselves and if they're even worthy, like the whale, I just want to know that I did something with my life. This moment, that's quantum entanglement, string theory 101. And I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mike, we got to do this again. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Where can people find you? Where can people talk to you and chat?
Yeah, they can find me. If you Google Paranormal Sarah, you will find me. I'm on TikTok doing weird things. I'm on Instagram doing my photography. I'm on Facebook sharing a lot of my astrology and the things that I do for alchemy and Hermetic spiritual work. And then on YouTube and paranormalsarah.com, I share like conferences and things like that. I'm doing a conference in April for violent sex offenders, and it's the psychology of language called the Silver Tongue. So I'm doing that in like Australia and India and the United States in the next 2 years. So you'll see me on like the circuit doing things for prison work and probation work. But in the paranormal, it's just kind of fun, cool stuff. But go to paranormalsarah.com and you can find more.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. And yes, I know our schedules are hectic.
That's okay. We're parents. We're going to make it work.
We have to, especially after today's conversation with the giant and all that, we definitely have to.
You're a Nephilim. I can feel it in my bones, in my psychic bones. I can feel it, Mike, and I'm excited to learn more about it.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I've been more towards spiritual than I have. I got into the paranormal hoping to find something demonic and be this demon hunter. And I'm like, I prefer angels. I like the light stuff. It's easier, more fun.
Well, yeah. And the fact that they, in my realm, are the same thing. So I feel like you can't have a light without a dark to put it in. And I like to be right there in the middle when one becomes the other. And that to me is the magic. So I'm excited to be working with you. And for anybody who listened today, reach out. I'm excited for you guys listening in and tuning in. And I wish you nothing but the best this year, Mike. It's going to be a good year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. Again, check her out, paranormalsarah.com. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. I got to check on the daughter and use the bathroom. So when we come back, I have another guest, Haley Michelle. You guys know her as Paranormal Princess. Super excited to talk to her. She's phenomenal as well. Thank you again, Sarah. And I'll shoot you a message a little later today.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, guys.
All right. Sounds good.
Brandon Wainwright is an animal lover, author, energy healer, and former police officer. In April of 2018, he and his family lost their dog Tyson to a brain tumor. It was an inevitable experience that comes with being a pet owner, but it was devastating nonetheless. Tyson's Gift: How an 8-pound canine became a man's greatest spiritual guide. In the story of Tyson's life, from his entry into the lives of Brandon and his wife Misha, to his equally impactful departure and continued spiritual influence, Tyson's beautiful story will entertain and comfort readers of all backgrounds. Get your copy at tysonsgift.com. That's tysonsgift.com, or wherever books are sold. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy, and contact Stephanie today.
If you're a fan of the paranormal world, then you'll love WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Talk shows bringing you the latest on everything paranormal, cryptozoological, metaphysical, true crime, psychic readings, and more. The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.
Hey, and I'm back. I think I'm going to get back into podcasting. This is actually really fun, and I miss it. I miss talking to people in the comments. You guys make me feel important. I love it. But before, if you guys caught up on the first hour, I apologize for that longer break. Those of you that are here know that in the winter, I am a stay-at-home dad. I got a 4-year-old running around who kind of needs me. She's very needy, very attached. Love her to death. But I have another guest, super excited to bring her on. She's a very good friend. Met her first time in Vegas at the Vegas Paracon. And I was actually, to be honest, a little not thrown off. I was a little nervous. You see her around TikTok. She is a TikTok influencer all over the world, Disneyland, Universal, travels, Paracons, does a lot of stuff. Collects haunted dolls, sells haunted dolls. Just a great all-around energy. I'm going to bring her in. Where's my mouse? There it is. Let me see. There we go.
You gave me a big head right there.
You're fun. Your energy is always fun to be around.
Thank you. I try.
The first time I met you in Vegas, I was a little nervous. I'm like, hey, I know her from TikTok, her dolls. She's not even going to know who I am. And then, we just hit it off pretty good.
Yeah.
And then ran into you at Wildwood for their Paracon, and it's just been, amazing. You're honored to have on.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
So how is I see you're putting up a new paranormal investigation YouTube?
Oh yes. I really want to start getting into YouTube. I always say I'm going to do it every year, and I don't. And I really should, because that was how I kind of got started in all this. I think I was like 14 getting into YouTube. And I'm like, why am I not doing this now? And I made an account, and out of nowhere, I had no videos. I already have 5,000 people following it. I'm like, well, I better start posting soon. So it's going to be all about paranormal, like mostly my investigations I go on and behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that'll always be fun. Those are, that's the great thing about YouTube, is being able to post, long videos, short videos, promotion. Even, we're live on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I remember when YouTube first came out, it was just videos of funny. I still remember the first YouTube videos I ever watched.
Oh, really?
It's so funny to just see how evolved it's come, from shitty quality camera phones to 4K, and it's insane.
Well, I'm kind of a little intimidated because of that reason. I started back on my mom's cheap camera thing and put a little disc in the computer and uploaded stuff, and now it's all technical stuff, and I'm a little nervous. I don't want to, look kind of crazy doing it, so I'm going to have to take some practice with it.
Right, and that's the sad part, is this came out when we were younger. Well, at least when I was younger. It came out so long ago. Why didn't I learn it then? And now here I am like, how do you do this?
I know, that's how I feel.
We built the way for this young generation. Sarah's right. We paved the way for the younger generation.
Yeah.
We did all the hard work. Now they get the benefit.
I know. I feel like we started the yellow brick road, and now they're at the Emerald Castle already.
Right. It's at everybody's fingertips.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna start writing down all my investigations I ever did and get any footage I can, and kind of just show clips of it and be like, well, when I was in here, this is what happened, and just give little sneak peeks and try to get them to watch the full videos. So planning a lot of investigations this year.
Nice. Where's your first one you're going?
Well, my first one actually is booked for this Saturday. If the weather holds up, it's going to be at Indiana State Sanitarium.
I have not been to that place yet.
I haven't either, but I've heard it's pretty much one of the most haunted locations in Indiana, and I got the opportunity. They reached out to me, so I'm like, okay, let's do this. It's an overnight thing too.
Is it an event, or are you just filming for YouTube or for yourself?
Well, it's kind of an event where people can come in and investigate themselves, and have also tour guides to take them around. They wanted me to come in to get my opinion, my experiences, and they're also going to have like paranormal equipment there for people to try out as well. So, and snacks. So can't forget the snacks.
Oh, you can't forget the snacks. That is the most important when you're on an
I'm going for the
investigation is food. Food. No cheese for me. No cheese. Nope. I'm still reaping. Last night, my wife and I were craving cheesecake. So
Yeah.
I went and got a cheesecake, and we ate half of it. And I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, no.
So it's been a fun morning.
Oh, no. I bet you're freaking out. Like, I got to do this right now, and I'm having problems with the cheesecake.
I'm literally like the end of the last hour. Like, I hope 2-minute break is long enough. I hope I hope I'm gonna be okay.
Oh, man.
It's a life of living with being lactose intolerant. It's not fun.
I couldn't even
it's all
imagine.
the good stuff.
That's everything.
Ice cream and coffee and
Yeah, I couldn't.
Cheese.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh. So what I really formulated 0 questions. Like, these are my notes just of things I know to bring up.
Okay.
I have 0 questions. Like, this is
Okay,
just
I'll do my best to come up with some stuff. Okay, we'll chat. So the last time we saw each other, Wildwood Sanatorium? How do I say that? Sanatorium?
This is Hope Pear. There is Hope Pear.
Okay,
Sanatorium, Tarium. I don't think there's
Okay.
I mean, that could be a difference. I don't know.
Right. That was really fun. That was the last real paranormal event I did, and ended up getting sick after for a while. I think I left early because I was sick. Before the investigation, I felt sick, and I left early.
Yeah, it was pretty late. I know that it was a good event. It turned out really well. That Paracon was, outstanding. Well, scheduled everything. I mean, we had a lot of fun. You, me, James, Selena.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was fun. Just walking around. Jeremy, of course. Jeremy, you can't forget Jeremy.
We can't forget him. Yeah, that was so fun. I feel like, though, I was fine the day before, but I spent the night in that haunted place, okay? And I did. And I had so much. I don't really like to go into places and know too much, but it pretty much told its own story when I spent the night in that room. And I found a clip where we were in there, and you did a spirit box, and you had your doll, and it was like one of the kids' old rooms, right? I can't remember much.
Was that when we were in there just kind of talking to Selene, weren't we?
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah,
a couple other people up in there talking about like what makes the room haunted. It was like the next day at the Paracon, and I was like, "Well, I spent the night in this haunted room. Can you guys tell me what's going on in here?" And I think that's where you said like a little boy spirit was, and Selene said she felt the boy spirit in there as well. Yeah, I felt him too. He was sitting on the end of my bed. He was opening up the door. He was making noises. I was like getting on TikTok in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, so there's this little boy spirit in here, and he's messing with the dolls, and he's messing with me.
That area, that whole building is active from top to bottom. Just everything it's been throughout being built. It's a holistic healing center. It was TB hospital, TB ward for a while.
Yeah.
For such a small building, like it's a regular sized house. Imagine that being a TB ward and just everybody, cramped and no space.
That's how I feel. I feel like it was all pushed in and cramped. I couldn't imagine it's not spacious enough for people to be in, like for TB patients anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite places. I love it there. I always promote it.
Yeah.
It was funny when I showed up. I didn't even know you were there. I didn't know you were there. I showed up. I just met you in Vegas like a couple months prior, and I get there, and I think it was either Brooke or Lori, one of the owners of Wildwood. They're like,
"Can you go wake up
Taylor?" They're up there. She's up there sleeping. We don't want to wake her up because we don't know her. And I was literally in the house for like 5 minutes. And they're like, Mike, can you go wake her up? You know her. I'm like, I literally just met her like 2 months ago, so I really don't know her. But yeah, I'll go do it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like knocking on
awake.
the door.
I knew
was
it was
so,
you
like,
too.
I'm like,
You're like-
why? Why did I get voted to just wake her up?
I felt so weird though, because I was hearing knocking on the door all night. And even at one point, the door kind of opened and I was smiling, expecting someone to be coming in, and it was nobody. So at first I was like, is this a trick? Is somebody really knocking at the door? But it was you. I recognized your voice right away. And I think I asked you later, I was like, did you try to wake me up?
It was me. I got voted.
Yeah, because no one else knew me. So you got just thrown in there.
Everybody
Haley's
was
scary.
happy you came, I know that.
Yeah, I know. It was so much fun. And of course, it was so fun to be in the room that they let me be in with all the dolls, because obviously.
I have Emily right up there.
I see her. Is that the one that was with us?
Yep, that's the one that that's the one that's in your picture.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep.
I love those pictures of us. Those are so funny.
She's up there.
This is
She
my
doesn't leave that
haunted.
spot.
Oh, she just stays there and watches you? Everything you do?
Well, this area over here, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a doorway right here. This area out here, you see I got an antique chair. That's actually not antique. It looks antique. This light, I'm getting there. I have a lot of items out there.
I think I've seen your
antique.
pictures.
Yeah, Emily, I'm one of those people, I don't like seeing the same thing over and over and over. So many times I'll come out here, I'll rearrange, I'll move stuff, I'll move the energy around. But Emily, she always has choice. I ask her where she wants to be, where she wants to go. And she sees me and my wife as her parents. She's a very intelligent spirit. She loves being with us, and she will not leave. And this is what's funny. This whole wall here, all the way up and down, and this is all family. She does not want to be away from anything that's my family. She wants to stay with it. So that's why unless I travel and take her, that's where she's at. That's where she wants to stay.
That is so cool. I feel like you possibly have known her in a past life or so, like her spirit, for a longer than you know.
I wouldn't be surprised. It was weird how I found her. And a lot of the people listening, I do have another podcast with Diet. I'm just filling in for her today. Yeah. So you're going to hear a lot about Emily. I found her spirit at a location in Cleveland. I had a buddy reach out who did his own podcast. He was doing a Halloween special, and he said, hey, let's do a mock paranormal investigation at my building. We'll just do it for fun, entertainment, come to this podcast. So we get there, and we're actually feeling activity. We're actually sensing things, seeing things, hearing things. So while we're there, we come to find out that the guy that owned the building was buying storage units. He was buying stuff from estate sales. And the whole building, that's what it was full of.
Oh.
So we go up to the attic. Well, when we first got there, I was walking in, and to the right of the door, there was just a random power wheel sitting there, just a kid's power wheel. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I am drawn to that. Why? There's something about this power wheel that I'm drawn to. So then we do the investigation. We start finding out there's actually spirits there. And we're up in the attic. And this is when I found out that I actually have energy for, best way to put this, children spirits. I've been known as a protector. I draw those children. So I start feeling a child. And my teammate at the time, she's using her dowsing rods, and we're asking yes and no questions. And I was like, are you a little girl child? And it says, yes. Out of nowhere, the name Emily popped in my head. I was like, is your name Emily? And those dowsing rods, I swear, swung fast. So fast. Like she was excited somebody saw her. Somebody knew her name.
Acknowledged it, yeah.
Her. And I'm like, is there something here that you're attached to? If there is, can you use those dowsing rods? Point me to it. So she starts pointing these dowsing rods over behind the stairs that you come up to the attic. And there's stuff everywhere because he was hoarding stuff. So I just start picking up random stuff and I go, no. She goes, no, 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 no. So finally I turn around and I walk away. And my teammate, John, at the time, he goes, what's that on the ground? It was one thing I didn't pick up. And it was this.
Oh my gosh.
That was the Power Wheel that I saw sitting outside.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I asked her, I was like, can I keep this? Can I take this home? And she said yes. And she's been with me since. She won't let me cross her over. She won't pass over. She doesn't want to for fear of losing us.
Yeah.
You know, I've captured her voice so many times. I've seen her once.
I think you played one for me and it was pretty chilling.
So yeah, there's my story of Emily. She's a sweetheart. And she's at Wildwood all the time too. She loves playing with Tommy. The room you stuff in. She's in there all the time.
Okay. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, you played one of her voices for me there, and it was like, oh my gosh. It was so clear and everything.
Oh, I wonder if it was the one where, I don't remember which one that was.
Me either.
But it was me and my son. He wanted to try and capture some EVPs of her. And we were in the basement of our old house. And I was like, hey, Emily, come play with Nico. And you just hear this little girl's voice just running, laughing, saying, I'm going to get you.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she was trying to tickle him. She was trying to have fun. And you could tell it wasn't a malicious voice or malevolent. It was a sweet little girl. And it was amazing.
Wow.
Know that she's around. So.
Well, that's good. I wanted to know the whole story. Yeah. Oh.
I know you have dolls. So what is your most haunted that you found, or that the spirit that sticks around the most?
Okay, so I have a haunted doll named Eloise. She's in the back room right now, but she's definitely the one that's most active. And I feel like when I post her on my social media as well, people are like, they feel drawn to her immediately. I mean, I post all my dolls pretty much and tell their story and tell little things, what they do, but it's always Eloise. And she is also one of my most oldest. The doll itself is like probably from the 30s or 40s. She's holding on by threads.
Wow.
And her eyes tell a story. It's like you are looking into someone's soul for sure. We made a connection right away. I feel like she is older. She's mature. She's not a child. And that's strange for me because I also feel like children's spirits come to play with me a lot. Because I feel like I act like a child. I'm not going to lie. I definitely don't act.
That high energy, free spirit.
Yeah, I don't act my age.
I mean, you also do a lot of like, I feel like saying dress up is rude and not, I don't know
I
the
can
right
tell
term
you.
for it. What is the right term?
Yeah, I'm a party princess for children's birthday parties. So I attend kids' birthday parties as their favorite characters, like, Cinderella and Elsa mostly, and, go there and meet the child and brighten their day, and they get to meet.
Do you think that is what could attract those children's spirits that
I do.
are drawn to that magical feeling?
Somewhat, but I feel like it's more that I don't act my age, that I collect toys and I play with toys and I like to buy toys, and they're all actually in my toy room that I have all these random little knick-knack toys. I think they like that. So I think it's that. And I'm a teacher, and I taught dance class and I taught in schools, and I just did everything that involved kids. So maybe they can feel that kind of feeling as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a mother figure or,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. This is one of my newest haunted dolls. Her name is Gypsy. I found her in an antique store, and I usually I will be real. Sometimes people are like, oh, go in there and find the most haunted dolls. Sometimes I'm like, it's not always that they're haunted. And I will buy some
Yeah.
just to prove that. You know, I'm like, this one's not haunted, this one's not, but it's fun to try. But this one I was very instantly connected with. And I felt like there was multiple spirits with her at first. Seriously, it felt like she was in this little, you know how thrift antique stores are, they have their own cubes. It felt like there were 3 or 4 spirits in there. And I was like looking around. I just felt so weird. And she was like hiding. And I picked her up. And then I just like started like noticing how you can just twist her head and she has all these personalities. And I'm like, maybe there's more than one with her. And she is very magical and very
you
unique.
have some for sale, don't you?
I do. I am trying to lessen my haunted doll collection because, as you know, it can be very overwhelming. And too much
posted
sometimes.
it to the wrong person, because then there's me trying to grow my haunted dog collection.
Yeah, you need to be reaching out to me about some dolls. I need to give you some.
Then there's my wife. Quit buying shit.
I know. People reach out to me often, like, oh, I think I'm ready to add a haunted doll to my collection, or I want to start collecting haunted dolls. So I have to give them the lowdown. Like, I am not responsible for what happens after this doll gets in your house. It's trickier than just like, oh, buy this haunted doll. It's so fun. Like, warning, may get possessed.
Yep, yeah. It's the same with mirrors, because I make them, I sell them. I've had a buddy of mine comment on my post and say, cover it. Because he's a witch. So he can actually sense the negativity. And if he comes around anything dark or negative, it actually makes him violently ill. So he just saw a picture of he just saw a picture of the mirror and was like, cover that now. I'm like, I can handle it.
Oh my
gosh.
energy,
I created it.
Right. I actually have a haunted mirror.
Oh no.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I lost count of mine. Where'd you get yours?
I found the antique store, thrift store I go to often. They actually reached out to me. They called me and they're like, we don't really believe in this stuff, but there's something about this mirror and it's not right. And we feel something really, really weird with it. And they gave me a very good discount on it. And I actually featured that whole little story time about that when the Discovery Channel reached out to me. Well, Travel Channel, Discovery, I don't know. Travel Channel, I think it is. They reached out to me and they were like, we want to know about this mirror. So I did a little story time about it. I saw a woman standing next to it, and she seemed like a lost bride almost. I just call her a bride because a long flowy nightgown and just kind of staring at me at the end of the bed next to the mirror. And I'm like, can I help you?
And you have that mirror?
I do.
Nice.
Yes.
I love thrift stores and antique shops are the greatest places to start if you're trying to build a collection.
Absolutely.
Same with you. I don't go in with hopes to find something, haunted, or for me, it fits the atmosphere, and if it looks good, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But I have, bought a few that do have a little bit of energy to them. Which actually brings me to something, what we should do? And it's something I actually got offered to do, and I'm thinking about doing it. I want to investigate an antique store or a thrift store.
Yes.
I got offered to do one in Tennessee.
I'm close to Tennessee.
12-hour drive. And this is down near Gatlinburg.
I will go. Please think of me.
I actually think it's down the road from the Titanic Museum.
I love the Titanic Museum. Oh my gosh, we need to investigate there too.
I'd love to get into so many places.
Same.
It's so hard anymore. Nobody either doesn't allow it, they don't want it, they don't want to promote it.
Right.
And then there's us on that spectrum of, here's more revenue for you. We're going to prove that it's haunted. Bring in, investigators. Let them pay to come in. But
exactly. Let us promote your location. I mean, if they knew that my catcher and the Paranormal Princess was just here, they'd want to come too.
The doll that I bought, I'll go grab her real quick.
Okay.
this doll, I bought her at the Antique Museum in Gatlinburg. And I felt bad for her because she sat in our trunk the entire trip from Gatlinburg to Chicago.
I know that feeling.
but yeah, I got her.
Oh, wow.
My wife and I think we walked through, I could feel her energy, just hold her. We walked through probably about 4 or 5 antique shops in Gatlinburg or the surrounding area of Tennessee. And I like to open myself up to draw myself to that next object or that next item that I want. I went through about 4 or 5 antique stores, nothing, didn't feel a thing. The one that I bought her from, I walked in and I felt watched. I automatically felt some sort of mischievous energy, something weird, something off, random, and it led me all the way to the 3rd floor. And I'm walking by this area where, you know, people that are in antique stores, they have their own little sections to sell stuff. I walked by this one, it was all full of kids' items, dolls, stuffed animals, toys, furniture, bed. And she was just right there in the corner, instantly drawn to her. And I bought her. And I had a friend of mine at the time read her energy, and she's like, she's very mischievous. She's a young girl. She likes to run around, whistle, sing. She's just a 14-year-old girl, just likes to have fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she won't talk to me.
Oh, no.
She won't tell me her name. I don't know if she doesn't like guys. She's never been mean, but she just, for some reason, she won't talk to me. But I'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe next time we get together, I would love to do something with her. As soon as you showed me her face, I'm not trying to be like conceited or anything, but I'm not going to lie. The facial features on that doll reminded me of mine.
Huh.
Did you look at that? Did you notice that?
Side by side, I do see it. And she's got the blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's why I have, speaking of, since I know you collect a lot more dolls, do you know anybody that makes clothing?
Oh my gosh. I do not.
The reason I ask is because this doll, you've seen Emily.
Yeah.
I know viewers and other people haven't, but this is Emily. I want to find, that's why this doll is Emily's. This is a doll I gave her. I actually bought this at the thrift store for Emily because Emily is actually blonde hair, blue eyes, everything with this doll. And I've seen Emily. I know what she's wearing. So I want to turn this doll into what she's wearing. So I'd love to find somebody.
I think I remember you mentioning that to me. Like you want to get some clothes for her and match her up with her spirit. That is a very good idea. I never even thought about, changing up their looks and stuff, but that's very good.
It's what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll get there one day if I find the right one.
Yeah, to match with her spirit. Why wouldn't she want to do that? For sure.
Oh, you can feel her all over the place. Like, there's times we're sitting on the couch and I sense her, I feel her, and she just acts like part of the family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does she get along with your other dolls?
She actually controls everything.
She's the boss.
She's the dominant. There's 2 spirits here that are dominant. One's a Native American and the other one is her.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's really neat. I didn't know about the Native American one in your house.
He's attached to a mirror that I have.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those mirrors.
Oh, love them. Yeah, he's attached to a mirror that I have.
I'm definitely a true believer in the mirror thing too. The portals and everything. Like, there's been times where I've almost been influenced without even realizing it to put mirrors across from each other in my room. And
I make them. I actually have 2 mirrors. They are brother and sister. They have been facing each other since I made them.
Oh, wow.
They have not left each other's I do it purposely. I do it to, you know, allow spirits to me, it's like a pit stop. It's a rest area,
Right.
you know. Wherever you're traveling next, feel free. Kick back and rest and then go along your way.
Come in, say hi, and then get going. Go into the other mirror.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's so
And
cool.
it happens. You know, there's days I'm out here in my area and I'm like, something out here doesn't want me. Okay, I'm leaving.
Oh,
And then
man.
there's other days I'm out there and it's like full of energy. You know, I'll clean, I'll dust, I'll sweep, and you can just feel them all around me. Just
You have a ghost
hang out.
hotel.
It's one of these days I'm going to do. I've been wanting to get out here and investigate. The only reason I don't is because I know the stories. I know what I have.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like I'm making it up or, you know, anything like that. But
Oh, yeah.
eventually here soon, I would like to get somebody in here that doesn't know and just investigate it. I think that would be cool.
That's a good idea, for sure. Did you hear about me going with the Ghost Hunter Girls, Natalie Jones? I'm sure you might have heard a little.
I did. I was going to bring that up. The event that you guys have, I would say coming up, but it's not.
I know. It
October,
feels like forever away. Oh my gosh.
I will be there.
You will?
I will be there.
Yay, good.
Yep. It's
the
gonna be
Haunted Hill
fun,
House.
Texas.
Oh, yes.
Have you been to Haunted Hill House?
I haven't.
Okay, so I went once. I've been there once. I had one experience. I didn't have, everything else in there I just wasn't getting anything.
Yeah.
But the one experience I had is there is a room in there. Oh, I don't know if I can tell you. You like going in blind. Never mind.
You can tell me about one room.
You like going in blind.
I do, but this is
okay. So actually, let's test this. So I want to see if you get a different outcome than I do. No, because that's going to be my bedroom. I was made to feel very, very comfortable in this room.
Okay. Well, it's good to hear a positive thing. I was waiting for you to say like.
But it's a negative
crazy.
room.
Oh.
It's a negative. It's known for negativity. It's known for darkness. It's known for something darker. But when I was there, I felt comfortable. I was treated with respect. I was protected. And what happened to me the night that I was going to sleep, nobody told me about a certain spirit in there until the next morning.
Oh, geez, that'd be rude.
So it was nice to verify that. It was nice to have validation for what I felt.
Right.
I think it's the suicide room. Yeah. Sleep in the suicide room. I think that's what they call it.
Oh, that's a special room. Oh my gosh. I don't even know.
Well, you want to go in blind, so I can't tell you. But,
I know. I was going to say, like, I don't even know anything at all. I know there's like multiple movies made about this house and all kinds of stuff.
And John Wayne did a few.
Yeah. I've never seen them. I mean, of course, I've heard about the house, but I don't really know much details or what really went down there.
The only thing I don't like about where the house is you can only travel so far away from that house before you run into cartel, before you run into a lot of bad stuff. It's, it's the only bad thing. But it's a nice, it's not a bad area. You just got to be careful.
Okay.
But, you know, when I'm out where I don't know where I'm at, I don't travel too far from the house anyway.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I think we're going to be there a couple nights too. So we'll get a little bit of different feelings for each night, hopefully. Have more time.
I'm excited to come back. I'm excited to get back to Haunted Hill House.
Yes. And my goal this year is
try to.
I bet. My goal is definitely to go places I have never been before. I want to get a bunch under the belt. I mean, I started writing down like all the places I've been, but I feel like it's a lot of Indiana and ew. I just don't like it here.
Get up to Monroe House. You haven't done that one yet.
Right. I think did you find out?
I've been wanting to.
Okay.
I've been wanting to. I have not. I'm planning another one right now that kind of put that one on hold.
Okay.
But I definitely want to get out that way again. That is an active location. That's a scary one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm part of the podcast, The Scared and Alone, and they like to send me out here and there, and they kind of brought up the Monroe House. So
that is one. If you're a child spirit protector, or you protect children's spirits like I do, and you're drawn to that child energy, guard yourself if you ever go upstairs. It's the only thing I'll say. Guard yourself.
Okay.
I am not allowed up there by myself because of that energy. The last time I was there, I was at the house by myself. Everybody left for breakfast except me. So I'm at the house by myself, and I had to use the bathroom. Now, the only working bathroom is upstairs, where I refuse to go by myself. I left to go to the gas station just to use the bathroom.
Wow. Oh my God.
I don't do anything by myself in that house.
Well, now you have me nervous.
But there is a spirit there that's very powerful. He's very dominant. He actually still fucks with me to this day.
Oh, wow.
And I've only been there twice.
Gotta love those spirits that like to follow you about.
It doesn't bother me. He's just pissed off at me because I can control him, and I was able to overpower him at the location and let another spirit come through to communicate that he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like me very much.
He thinks he has to be in control of it all.
Oh, the one time he grabbed my foot while I was sleeping, oh, that one pissed me off. I hate my feet being touched, and they know it.
Oh my gosh. Did you tuck your toes in?
My feet hang out. I am one of those, I don't care if you're demonic or not. My feet do not go under those blankets. But if you touch them, it's a whole different world. I will cross you over if you touch my feet.
Oh my, that reminds me of when I stayed at the Old Park Hotel. And I was rooming with Sarah, Moon Girl. I mean, it was have you ever been to the Old Park Hotel?
I have not. Sarah's a sweetheart, though.
Oh, yes. Well, we wanted to room together, but we went into a room where it's kind of like a double room, kind of like a hotel. You can just go through that door, and she's right here, has her room, and I have mine. We were so tired. Like, we just got done with Patty doing a seance. Like, we just did a all investigation. We were so ready to lay down. Next thing I know, she's screaming, "Something grabbed my foot!" And I was like, "Oh no!" I said, "You're about to have to sleep with me right now because I'm scared." I was so fine. I was not scared. I was fine, ready to go to sleep. Her scream probably just is what scared me more than anything. And I was on TikTok live.
Oh, wow. I think that's one of the greatest things, you know. I hear a lot of people in the paranormal field talk about how they've never been touched. They don't know what it feels like to be touched by a spirit, but they've been doing this for 20, 25 years. And they're like, oh, everybody else is just making it up.
Oh my gosh.
It is the strangest feeling. I'll never forget the first time it happened to me. And believe it or not, I've actually lost count on how many times it's happened to me.
Yeah.
One of the most recent was actually a couple weeks of Thanksgiving. I was actually with my buddy John Ward. He's another local paranormal investigator. We did a documentary together. We were just standing in my garage. I was smoking a turkey. You know, I'm out there checking the turkey on Thanksgiving, and I got my back to the garage, and he's standing right here. And we both at the same time heard footsteps coming through the garage. Like, I thought it was my wife or one of my kids. Yeah. But we both turn around and there's nobody there. And next thing you know, like, I felt something just like, hey, I'm right here, just tapping on my shoulder, my elbow. I'm like, turn around and I jumped, and he goes, what? I was like, something just hit my elbow. Somebody was just hitting my weenus. But no, seriously, it's the greatest. I think that's the coolest thing, is to be touched by a spirit.
I can feel, when you even talked about it, I can feel it. Like, I've as well been touched many times and by spirits. I can remember one time when I was younger, and I ran into one in my hallway. Like, I was skipping merrily to my room, going through the hallway, and it felt like I face planted into a wall. But I ran into this big, tall male spirit that was just blocking the hallway. And I just kind of stood back. Okay. And then just kind of walked on. But I will never forget that feeling. It almost felt hard, but squishy at the same time.
That's what she said.
I knew you would.
I had to. I can't let those go.
Yeah, I knew it was coming after I said it. Yeah, definitely
No,
something
but
I never forget.
Those are a lot of the especially owning haunted items. You know, like you and I and other people that own them. You know, they keep you on your toes. There's been a few nights. You know, I have two spirits here that are both female children, and I can't tell you how many nights my wife and I will be in bed and we'll hear what sounds like our daughter running down the hallway laughing, her door opening and closing, and we get up and she's passed out in bed.
You're like, get your ass back to bed, and it's not her.
It happens a lot. We'll hear footsteps laughing up and down the hallway, and you'll open the door, and there's just nobody there.
Oh,
it's
isn't
so
that
cool.
crazy?
I love it.
Do you ever get like, are you just so used to it now that it doesn't somewhat kind of give you a fright or like give you a little?
Truthfully, I think I've gotten so comfortable with it that I don't notice it anymore. It's just part of your everyday life. Right. And they let me know when they want acknowledged. They let me know when they're here, and you know, that's all you can do. Right. Even when I'm out here, there's days I walk around and just talk. It looks like I'm talking to myself, but you know, I talk to every spirit out here when I'm cleaning or doing something. My wife will walk in on me and she'll think I'm weird. I'm like, nope, just talking to the ghost. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Does she have the abilities? Well, I'm sure she can sense some of the haunted stuff going on.
She can, but she's not one of those that's, oh my God, I'm into it kind of people. Yeah. So she knows when they're around and when she feels them. But, you know, she told me the other day, she's like, I was in your area doing something last night. You were asleep on the couch. And she goes, I had to run. She's like, something made me I didn't want to be in there for some reason. And she's not really that kind of person that picks up on that. But when she does, it's pretty funny because she does get kind of freaked out.
That's so funny because that kind of reminds me of my husband. Like, he's kind of the same way. But when he actually tells me little stories like, okay, this is what happened in the house. Like, I felt this, I felt that. I'm like, whoa, it's kind of crazy to hear it coming from his mouth. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. I can't explain the feeling. And
then we got to bust out our dowsing rods, our EVP recorders, our Ouija boards. And they're like,
there's some Ghostbusters coming through.
I'm going to the bar with my friends. You have fun.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
That's my wife. She doesn't, you know, I show her a lot of the evidence and a lot of the stuff that I see. So she is a believer. She just doesn't want to get into it.
Same with mine.
I guess like I do, but
I think he enjoys when I tell him like the stories or like, you know, okay, be careful coming in, you know, this back room. There's someone back there. Like, he enjoys that stuff. And he's, you know, when I first met him, he was a little skeptical. He never spoke it, but I could tell. But then he spent the night at my house for the first night and he had a little encounter with one of the spirits there. Uh-oh. And now he believes 100%. This is a shout out to him. He's watching. Yes, there was.
It was a protected one.
It was a male spirit who's attached to me, and he isn't very nice.
What? Okay, come here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to somebody else? Ooh.
Hi.
She can't hear you.
Oh.
Hi.
You can hear her. She can't hear you. I got the headphones.
She's cute.
She dresses up like princesses. Yeah. You tell her who your favorite singer is right now?
JoJo.
Who is it?
JoJo.
Oh, I play JoJo. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but she's a huge fan.
I dress up like her and go to parties for kids.
Uh-oh. Well, I did get a hold of you for that one, but yeah, you're kind of far.
Yeah, okay, I remember. Yes.
I was like, yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe I should have. Huh? Because I made a goof. I know, Daddy's silly. Okay, bye. Hey. Good, Buggy. We have this thing we whistle at each other. I don't know why. She just started doing it. It's like
funny.
Marco Polo.
But it's kind of good. Like if she tries to run away, like go in far in the store, you like, whistle and she'll whistle back. Find her quickly.
Oh, she will. She'll do it all the way across the house.
Oh, good. Where are you? If I could whistle anymore. Ever since after I got braces off, I was an adult with braces. After I got them off, I can't whistle now.
I can whistle in, but I can't whistle out.
Oh, weird.
Weird.
I can't at all.
But I can't. Dead air. Can't do it.
That's funny. Oh yeah, I was about to tell
man.
you that spirit was I have a male spirit attached to me. Patty Negri once told me it's an ex-husband. Well, a husband I had who was very abusive to me and stuff in a past life. She thinks he's still with me, and I believe that. Because when I started dating and stuff, he would come out and play more. He would be very angry, and a lot of stuff went down. Well, when Trevor spent the night for the first night at my house, when I was living at my mom's house, he woke up to hearing chains rattling by the closet door, and he was seeing black shadows and just like grunting noises. And I will never, ever forget the way he said my name to wake me up. It was complete fear from his voice. I can still hear it to this day, and it gives me chills with how scared he was. And as soon as he woke me up, I heard it for a minute. I heard the chains. I heard stuff by the window, by the closet, and I said, "Don't move." And then it stopped. We slept with the lights on the rest of the night.
I've had those days. Man. Even at haunted locations, like there's times where I'll get into a haunted location, like Haunted Hill House, for instance, the room I slept in. I was scared. Like, not when I was scared. I was first time spending the night in a haunted room by myself. So I just nonchalantly, like, I don't try to investigate, because when I go to bed, I go to bed. I don't care about cameras on. I don't care about anything. Like, let me sleep.
Yeah.
So I actually was trying to talk to the spirits in there. I was trying to put a movie on, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to lay here. I'm going to watch a movie. You guys are more than welcome to hang out and watch it with me. And I'll have a recorder on then. I'll say, what's your favorite movie? This is an action movie. This is what's going on. And I'll just start having a normal conversation. Like, again, I'm crazy in a room by myself. But I love doing techniques like that. Have you tried anything like that? Just hanging out and talking randomly. And
I feel like it's not something I've ever thought about, but I think I do without thinking about it. I think I have just kind of, I'm going to go over here and sit if that's okay. And like, I hope you're doing okay. Just kind of maybe just speaking to a spirit without even realizing I'm doing it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done that. Like, I'll be in my room and I'll just pick up on an energy that I've never felt before and just be like, hi, how are you? Yeah. Yeah. I see you. I feel you. Like, you're here. What's up? Thanks for joining. Please don't kill me. Have a nice day. There's only one rule in this house, and it's do not mess with my children. Yeah. That's it. You can possess me all day long. More. What's that? I was like, you can possess me all day long, but don't mess with my kids. That's rule number one. Just don't fuck with the kids. That's everybody else. I don't care. But we got a couple more minutes. I know you and I really got to get a couple locations down. I want to get back to Wilson Castle and Monroe House. Those are my two goals. But where can people find you? Where can they book you for an event? Follow you on social media? Well, mostly my TikTok is where it's at, but that's just where to keep up with me and my videos. Miss Haley Michelle. I have 2.6 million followers and counting, like how I like to say. And my Instagram, that's where I am more responsive to people. Send me a DM on there if you'd like to book a reading or like thinking about buying a haunted doll. Miss Haley Michelle. And I do want to say, please beware. I just like to say this. Once you start following me, be aware of people reaching out to you, claiming they're me. It's not me. I will never reach out to you. You have to reach out to me. Oh, that's always important. Yes. I always get these
always.
people reaching out to, oh, I'm the paranormal princess. You can pay $200 for this reading, and I'll make sure the curse gets off you. That's not me. I'm not going to do that.
Awesome. All right, everybody. It's super excited. Super glad to have you today, Haley.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to send you a message here. We need always fun catching up. We got to plan something sometime this year. I want to get out a little bit more.
We will.
But again, be sure. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Be sure to check out Paranormal Princess again. This is the end of our show, guys. Be sure to check out Paraflixx.com. Subscribe now. It is the Netflix of paranormal. Everything cryptid, everything scary. And tomorrow. I cannot forget. Diet will be upset if I do not promote tomorrow's show, Unfiltered, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central. Me and Diet, how do we say it wrong? Diet, we're going to be doing our reading and life coaching tips episode on Unfiltered. And that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for 2 hours, listening to me rant. I really got to pee. So on that note, take us away, Todd.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.